10 weeks on the road, you become very attached to what you're carrying. The few things you've decided to take away with you have to be the good things, the things that make the trip what it is. One of those things was our tent. Ollie packed it away by himself every day. It was pretty easy in that way. But there are a few other things we liked about it too, and here they are. This is the OZTENT RV-5 So of course, it was our bedroom, but it was also so much more than that. It would be where we would gravitate to, where Mertz would play her morning frisbee, a place we would drink our morning coffee and our afternoon tin. It was the first thing to come off the car, and the last thing to go back on. We became very good at setting up camp, and at one point we had it down to 13 minutes. We would pull up, find the flattest ground, and get to setting up.
Which like to be?
Just like see that flat bit there? Slightly further back. Yeah, perfect.
Together we would pick out where to lay out the ground sheet. Then Ollie would banging the pegs while I fiffed around doing other things. We became a well-oiled machine, setting up home for the night. I would sweep the inside, while Ollie grabbed our other essentials, and it wasn't long before we could sit down and relax.
We just cannot overstate how good this is.
The orientation would change depending on the spot, and of course depending on the wind. We learned very quickly which way to face the tent so we didn't cop too much wind on the front. That doesn't mean we always got it right. But occasionally, we would find a spot where the tent felt right at home, where it blended into the scenery seamlessly. It was a place where Mertz could spend some time off her lead. In the beginning, we felt a little uneasy being on the road. Being in a tent gave us a sense of vulnerability.
Good morning. We didn't get murdered.
We found plenty of magic spots, but unfortunately, the magic spots were not always possible.
We went to check out that meteorite crater campground, and it just wasn't suitable. Like, it was just like unlevel, quite large stones, and there was heaps of flies around. So we thought we'd check out the second campsite, and that was super close to the road. Great for fine for a caravan, but not for a tent. So it's not where I wanted to be. I did want to be camping tonight. I'm a bit sick of hotels and motels.
And after staying in motels for a couple of nights, getting back into the tent felt like a dream.
What a sleep last night though, eh?
Oh yeah.
It was so good to be back in the tent, back on the stretcher.
But ultimately, it became our sanctuary at the end of each day.
It's immediately put me in a better mood. It's nice to be camping again.
We would sit in front of our tent, in our new surroundings, and we couldn't help but think how lucky we were to be travelling, and how gorgeous Mertz looks in the low evening light.
And in other news, we've got our annex. It's going to be quite nice tonight because the mods will be out any minute, so it'll be nice to have a wee escape from that.
That'll be much better than that.
So there you have it, the OZTENT RV-5 It wasn't cheap, but for us it wasn't about finding the cheapest tent. It was about finding the best. It made our trip comfortable. It gave us shelter and provided warmth. We plan on doing this again one day. And just like so many times before, the last thing to be loaded onto the car will be the tent.
You're inhibiting.